Welcome back to Numastrade today. Then suddenly, a tiny silver-colored coin catches your attention. It's a dime, dated 1989, with a small P mint mark. At first glance it seems ordinary, something millions of people have used to buy candy, bus tickets, or a cup of coffee decades ago. But here's where the story gets interesting. Some collectors believe certain versions of the 1989 P Roosevelt Dime could be extremely valuable under the right conditions. What looks like a simple 10-cent coin might actually be worth far more than its face value. In rare situations, collectors have searched for special examples that stand out because of their condition, minting characteristics, or unique details. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1989 P Roosevelt Dime, its history, its design, what makes collectors excited about it, and why some people keep searching their coin jars hoping to find one extraordinary piece. The history behind the Roosevelt Dime. The Roosevelt Dime has been part of American coinage since 1946. It was introduced shortly after the death of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt was widely admired not only for leading the country during difficult times but also for his support of organizations fighting polio, including the March of Dimes campaign. Because of this connection, the U.S. Mint decided to honor him by placing his portrait on the dime. The design has remained mostly unchanged for decades, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in modern American currency. By 1989, the Roosevelt Dime had already been circulating for more than 40 years. Millions of these coins were produced each year, helping keep everyday commerce running smoothly across the country. The Philadelphia Mint and the P mark. One key detail collectors pay attention to is the mint mark. The letter P on the 1989 dime indicates it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. For many years, Philadelphia coins didn't even carry a mint mark, but starting in 1980 the P mark became standard for most denominations. The Philadelphia Mint is one of the most historic coin-producing facilities in the United States. Since the late 18th century, it has manufactured billions of coins used across the nation. In 1989, the Mint produced an enormous number of Roosevelt dimes for circulation. Most were used in everyday transactions and eventually ended up in cash registers, piggy banks, and coin jars across the country. Design details of the 1989 P Roosevelt Dime. At first glance, the coin looks simple, but collectors appreciate its detailed design. On the front, also called the obverse, you'll see the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. Around the portrait are the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1989. Just beside the date sits the small P mint mark. On the reverse side of the coin is a powerful symbol of freedom and unity. A torch stands in the center, representing liberty. On one side is an olive branch symbolizing peace, and on the other side is an oak branch representing strength and independence. Even though the coin is small, every detail reflects careful craftsmanship. What makes certain coins valuable? Most 1989 P Roosevelt dimes are only worth their face value in everyday circulation. However, collectors know that value in the coin world often depends on a few special factors. Condition is one of the biggest influences on value. Coins that have never been circulated and still show their original shine are far more desirable than coins that have spent decades passing from hand to hand. Another important factor is rarity within condition levels. Sometimes a coin might not be rare in general, but extremely rare in pristine condition. Then there are minting anomalies. Occasionally, coins leave the mint with unusual characteristics that make them stand out to collectors. These can include striking differences, surface variations, or other unusual traits that collectors love to study. When these factors combine excellent condition, strong detail, and collector demand, a coin that once bought a piece of candy might suddenly become a prized collectible. The collector's hunt. Coin collecting is a hobby filled with excitement and discovery. Many collectors enjoy the thrill of searching through rolls of coins from banks or examining old family coin collections. The reason is simple: treasures sometimes hide in plain sight. A coin that appears ordinary might actually be a rare find when examined closely. Small details, like sharp lettering, a brilliant surface, or an unusual strike, can transform an everyday coin into something special. Because of this, collectors often keep magnifying glasses, reference guides, and coin albums ready for every search. The 1989 P Roosevelt Dime has become one of those coins people like to check carefully, especially when they come across older rolls of dimes. How condition changes everything. Condition grading is a huge part of coin collecting. Coins are graded on a scale that measures how much wear they have experienced. At the lowest levels, heavy circulation might leave a coin scratched, dull, and worn. At higher levels, coins may still display crisp details and original mint luster. At the very top of the scale are coins that look almost exactly the way they did when they left the mint decades ago. Collectors often send high-quality coins to professional grading services where experts evaluate them and seal them in protective holders. This process helps verify authenticity and condition. For some coins, achieving an exceptionally high grade can make an enormous difference in collector value. Why the 1989 dime still fascinates collectors. Even though billions of dimes have been minted over the decades, collectors never stop searching for outstanding examples. The 1989 Roosevelt Dime represents a fascinating part of modern coinage history. It reminds collectors that valuable discoveries don't always come from ancient coins or gold treasure. Sometimes the most surprising finds come from coins people once carried in their pockets every day. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting. Every jar of coins, every old piggy bank, and every inherited collection could hold a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. Tips for checking your own coins. If you happen to find a 1989 Roosevelt Dime, there are a few things collectors usually examine closely. First, look at the overall shine of the coin. Does it still have a bright, reflective surface? Next, check the details in the hair, the lettering, and the torch on the reverse side. Sharp details often indicate less wear. Finally, look carefully for anything unusual. Even small differences can attract collector attention. Using a magnifying glass or coin loupe can help reveal tiny features that might not be visible with the naked eye. A reminder from the world of coin collecting. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. Many people begin the hobby simply by becoming curious about the coins they already have. Some enjoy learning about history, others appreciate the artistic designs, and many love the excitement of the search. And every once in a while, someone finds a coin that turns out to be far more valuable than they ever expected. The final thought: the 1989 Roosevelt Dime may look like a simple 10-cent coin, but it carries decades of history, craftsmanship, and collector fascination. From the portrait honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt to the symbolic Torch of Liberty on the reverse, the coin represents an enduring piece of American heritage. We're diving into a fascinating story about a modern American coin that most people have seen but very few truly understand, the 2000 Roosevelt Dime. At first glance it looks ordinary. It's tiny, lightweight, and common in circulation. Yet collectors across the world carefully inspect these coins because certain examples can carry surprising value. In this video we'll explore the history, design, minting process, and the hidden details that can make a simple dime incredibly interesting to collectors. History behind the Roosevelt Dime. To understand the 2000 dime, we first need to go back to the origin of the Roosevelt Dime itself. The coin honors Franklin D. Roosevelt, one of the most influential leaders in American history. After his passing in 1945, the United States wanted to honor him in a meaningful way. Roosevelt had a strong connection with the fight against polio and supported the organization known as the March of Dimes, which raised funds to battle the disease. Because of this connection, the U.S. decided to place his portrait on the 10-cent coin. In 1946, the Roosevelt Dime officially replaced the Mercury dime and has remained in circulation ever since. Decades later, in the year 2000, the coin was still being produced in large numbers to meet everyday circulation needs. The mint that produced the coin, the P Mint mark on the 2000 dime, stands for the Philadelphia Mint. This facility is one of the oldest and most historic mints in the United States. Since the late 1700s, it has produced billions of coins used across the country. When you look closely at a 2000 Roosevelt Dime, you'll see the small letter P near the date. That tiny letter tells collectors exactly where the coin was made. Although millions were produced that year, collectors still search through rolls of dimes hoping to find one with unique features or exceptional condition. Design of the coin. The Roosevelt Dime has one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage. On the front of the coin you'll see the left-facing portrait of President Roosevelt. His calm expression and clean profile make the design simple yet powerful. Around the portrait appear the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," along with the year 2000 and the small P Mint mark. The back of the coin carries a symbolic and elegant design. At the center stands a torch, representing liberty and enlightenment. On each side of the torch are two branches, an olive branch symbolizing peace and an oak branch representing strength and independence. Together, these elements represent the core ideals of the United States. Material and composition. Another interesting fact about the 2000 Roosevelt Dime is its metal composition. Earlier dimes minted before 1965 were made from real silver, which makes them especially valuable today. However, modern dimes like the 2000 version are made using a copper-nickel clad composition. This means the coin has a pure copper core sandwiched between layers of nickel alloy. The design gives the coin its silver appearance while keeping production costs low. Even though it contains no silver, collectors still pay close attention to these coins because condition and minting errors can make a big difference in value. Why collectors care about this coin? You might wonder why collectors spend so much time examining coins that were produced in large numbers. The reason is simple: rarity is not always about how many coins were made. Sometimes it's about how many survived in perfect condition or how many were struck with unusual features. For example, collectors look for coins that show extremely sharp details, flawless surfaces, and strong luster. These high-grade coins often come from rolls that were never circulated or were carefully preserved from the moment they were minted. The role of coin grading. Professional grading is a big part of the coin collecting world. Organizations evaluate coins based on their condition, assigning them grades that range from heavily worn to nearly perfect. A coin that looks ordinary to the average person might actually be considered extremely rare if it has been preserved in exceptional condition. Grading experts examine every detail under magnification. They study the shine of the metal, the sharpness of the design, and even the smallest marks on the surface. The higher the grade, the more collectors may be willing to pay. Minting errors that increase interest. Another exciting part of coin collecting is the hunt for mint errors. During the production process, coins are struck at incredible speeds by powerful machines. Occasionally small mistakes happen, and those mistakes can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's treasure. Collectors look for doubled designs, off-center strikes, die cracks, or unusual surfaces. Even a tiny variation can make a coin much more desirable among enthusiasts. That's why many collectors carefully inspect every coin they come across, searching through pocket change. One of the most fun parts of collecting Roosevelt dimes is that anyone can start searching right away. You don't need expensive equipment or rare coins to begin. Many collectors simply check their pocket change, coin jars, or bankrolls. Imagine the excitement of finding a coin that looks brighter than the rest or has sharper details than typical circulation coins. Those small discoveries are what keep collectors motivated and curious. The appeal of modern coin collecting. Some people believe only old coins can be valuable, but modern coins have their own fascinating stories. Coins like the 2000p Roosevelt Dime represent a moment in time. They were produced at the start of a new millennium, a year filled with excitement and anticipation around the world for collectors. Owning coins from this period is like holding a tiny piece of history. Each coin passed through countless hands, traveled through cities and towns, and played a small role in everyday life. Condition makes the difference. While millions of 2000p dimes exist, very few remain in flawless condition. Coins that circulated for years usually develop scratches, dull surfaces, or worn designs. But occasionally a coin survives with bright luster and nearly perfect details. These are the coins collectors dream about finding. A well-preserved example can stand out dramatically compared to a typical circulated coin. Tips for identifying a valuable example. If you want to check your own coins, there are a few simple things to look for. First, examine the coin under bright light. A strong shine or luster may indicate the coin has seen little circulation. Next, inspect the details in Roosevelt's hair and the torch on the reverse. Sharp, crisp lines often mean the coin was struck well and preserved carefully. Finally, look closely at the mint mark and date to confirm the coin came from the Philadelphia Mint in the year 2000. The thrill of the hunt. Coin collecting is often compared to a treasure hunt. The treasure might be hiding in a coin jar, a bankroll, or even loose change from a store. Every coin examined brings the possibility of discovering something special. That excitement keeps collectors searching through thousands of coins year after year. And sometimes, patience truly pays off. A final thoughts: the 2000p Roosevelt dime may look like a simple everyday coin, but it carries decades of history, symbolism, and collector interest. From its connection to President Roosevelt to the careful craftsmanship of the Philadelphia Mint, the small coin represents a fascinating part of American numismatic history. For collectors, the real excitement lies in discovering an example with exceptional quality. A well-preserved specimen can stand out dramatically among ordinary circulation coins and capture the attention of serious enthusiasts.